I've been a full-time wedding invitation designer since 2016, so for over a decade now. And if I were starting my business in 2026, here are the first few things that I would do to start a wedding invitation design business. I'll link out to some other videos that go more in depth on a lot of these things in the description, so check those out. So first and foremost, I'd make sure your business is set up. People kind of skip this step and do it further down the line, but it's really not that hard. You most likely want to start as a sole proprietorship if it's just going to be you in the business, or a partnership if you're working with someone else. It's really easy to file as a sole proprietorship. Just literally Google your town and state and say, file sole proprietorship in Jefferson County, Colorado. You'll follow the instructions right there on the county or state page, and it should be really easy and cost you $100 or less. But you don't even have to deal with that till it comes tax time, and you'll have a much better handle on your business by then. Also involved in setting up your business is getting a separate bank account. You can have this under the same bank that you have your personals, so you can access them in the same place. You can transfer money really easily, but whenever you have money coming into the business, you want it to go to a different place, so it's really easy to track. And also you'll want to get your domain. So whatever your business name is, keep it really, really simple. We have a whole video on this. You'll grab the website domain and all of your social handles. You don't really need that much under your belt to start your business, so it's actually a very low startup cost, but I want this to be set up legally so you don't run into any trouble down the line. The second thing you're going to want to do is learning. And the main things that I would learn are wedding invitation etiquette, so that you can be the expert and you're not guiding people in the wrong direction. You're not spelling accommodations wrong. 2 C's, 2 M's, okay? Everyone spells that wrong when they first start out. Also make sure you're not spelling stationery wrong, because that will piss off a lot of other stationery designers, and a lot of people do it when they start out. Next, you want to learn your design programs. And I know that a lot of you probably feel more comfortable with programs like Canva, Procreate, etc. You may not be comfortable with the investment of upgrading to Adobe Creative Cloud, but I promise you it's going to be worth it to start with the right programs. I'm a fully self-taught designer, so I know that you can do it. I also have a class that's only $67 that will teach you how to use InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop, all for stationery design. So I think this is a really good investment that will really jumpstart your career. You won't make quite as many mistakes, and you won't run into all the roadblocks that those other programs have. For instance, Canva is really not a great program for printing invitations, and you can design something that looks really good online, but then when you actually start to print it, your print shops that you outsource to are going to be so confused, or your printers in-house are going to change up the colors and things like that. So you're going to run into a lot of roadblocks when it comes to printing if you use those programs that are only designed for online design. Definitely recommend Emily Post for the etiquette portion, and then if you want to learn Adobe Creative Cloud, I'll link our bundle in the description. I'm proof that trial and error definitely can work here, but it took me years to really feel like a master of these programs, so if I could have done it faster, I definitely would have. The next step is making your portfolio, so just diving into these programs and practicing your designs. This is going to help you learn the programs. It's going to help you become a better designer, see what works, see what doesn't, but also develop your personal style. And then technically, it's going to give you so much information about why printing is kind of difficult and help you get a lot better at printing. You would much rather print 10 pieces for your portfolio and have a color issue than do that for a paying client with 150 quantity. Trust me. I'm going to link our vendor toolkit in the description of this video, which will have all of the printers that we recommend. I would highly recommend starting out with my favorite printer, Printswell, Cards and Pockets, or LCI. Those will all be linked in the description. Now, what you do with this portfolio is you're going to make a really simple website. Remember, you already have your domain from step 1. I highly recommend starting with Squarespace. It's very drag and drop, plug and play, easy to get set up, and you don't need something really complicated. Your website should have an about page, a portfolio page. Again, this is why we created the portfolio, and a contact page. And then you could include something about your process or working with you, etc. if you want to, but it really doesn't have to be complicated. Once you have your website up, I would start marketing in a few ways. So I still think Instagram and Pinterest, especially in combination, are the best platforms for wedding stationers. You can do some things on TikTok, but it's a little bit more complicated to grow there. Whereas Instagram, you can still do a variety of posts, and it might be a little bit easier for you to get started over there. Plus, we're all really familiar with Instagram, and I think it's more searchable for wedding content. Pinterest, though, is going to be your powerhouse. People are still planning their weddings on Pinterest. In 2026, it's the #1 wedding platform, and it's a great platform for more evergreen posts. So if you notice on Instagram, you post something and then a week later, no one's really liking it anymore. But on Pinterest, your work can come up whenever anyone's searching anything like the style of what you do, as long as you put those words in the description. I know a lot of you might ask if you should start on Etsy. If you do end up starting on Etsy, then you maybe don't need to start on your website and Instagram quite as much. The whole point of Etsy is that they're going to drive that traffic to your work for you, and that everyone who's on Etsy shopping is already on Etsy. So they're not going to leave and go to your website and find you there. The thing about Etsy is that certain products don't work as well for Etsy. And I find that really, really customized wedding invitations are less perfect for the Etsy platform. On Etsy, people really want to see what they're going to get. So if you're starting from scratch on every suite, I'm not saying you can't sell on Etsy, but it's going to be a little bit harder because what do you put in the listing photo? Just examples of your work. And then people might be confused because they might think that's what they're buying. So if you are selling semi-customs or templates, then Etsy might be a better platform for you. And in that case, I highly recommend just really diving deep onto Etsy, the SEO there, how to get found a little bit more there, because you want Etsy to be doing that heavy lifting for you. You don't want to have to be driving your traffic from Instagram. Pinterest, however, works really well in tandem with Etsy. You can pin all of your Etsy listings, and it's still a really good driver for an Etsy shop. And then the last thing I'd recommend is just starting to network with wedding planners. That's the person who most people are hiring before they hire us, and especially if you do custom invitations, almost all of your ideal clients are going to have a wedding planner. So you might not be able to work with like the most high-end wedding planners at the very beginning, but you can find some in your niche. You can find some that have similar styles to you, whose clients like the things that you like the type of invitations that you're creating, maybe people in your local area, but it doesn't necessarily have to, and you can start forming relationships with them. I wouldn't recommend just like blindly reaching out or blindly sending a sample kit, but actually form a natural relationship with them. You might want to offer to do a styled shoot with them, which is kind of a free portfolio job. You might want to offer to send them some examples of your work, ask them what their clients are interested in, etc. So you want to form a really natural, positive relationship with them and explain to them like why you're a good fit for their clients, why the styles match, why the print methods are a good fit, the budgets are a good fit, etc. So that when the client comes up who says those same words, they're automatically thinking of you. Wedding planners can be such a valuable resource when it comes to selling your wedding invitations because they already have those qualified leads up front for you, and those people are going to trust their recommendations. So if you can get those people to trust you, then suddenly all of these clients who are getting married are going to trust you as well. So honestly, the way I would start my business here in 2026 hasn't changed too much, but I would focus more on learning and knowing the craft up front as opposed to kind of trial and erroring it with paying clients, because you're going to save a lot of money and heartache that way. The biggest thing you can do for your business is just dive in, start trying, start creating, and start sharing the work that you create. As you go, you'll adapt more into your own personal style, you'll feel more comfortable, and your clients will start automatically being attracted to you because they start seeing your work everywhere. Now, of course, I have some resources that can jumpstart your learning process a little bit. Specifically, I'm going to recommend the Creative Cloud Bundle because it is just such a comprehensive resource, and it's less than 1 month of Creative Cloud. So it's really a no-brainer when it comes to getting started on these platforms a lot easier, as opposed to trying to piece together tutorials from the internet that aren't really for wedding invitation designers. I'm going to teach exactly what you need to design wedding invitations in these 3 programs, Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. So you'll have that kind of full suite and know everything that you're able to do when it comes down to designing your first set of real invitations. Thanks for watching. Stick around for all the wedding invitation design content.